So basically, on your podcast, Tech Talk, you're gonna talk with those compliance people, talk about how we can improve the compliance industry in general, maybe giving some advices for those who want to start their journey in compliance.
Um, yeah, I could tell you right now if it's any advice I would give to somebody who wanted to start into the field of compliance, get an entry level job at a financial institution, and just start to learn the ins and outs of what makes that business run, and make friends with the people in compliance so that you understand first. Um, you're learning the ins and outs of the activities related to the financial institution, the trading activities, and what your goal is. But then to get into compliance, that's where once you've got that foundational understanding, you'll be able to understand why it's important to protect and why these regulations are there and exist. I mean, if you look at your grandparents, perhaps, that were defrauded by Bernie Madoff, that wipes out their whole life and it crushes them. Well, your job in compliance is to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's a pretty noble profession, these compliance officers. And so it's almost, like a military policeman or a cop. You're the enforcer at the firm, but you're protecting, and you're there to serve and protect that firm as a compliance officer. And so it just takes a ethos and a passion to want to do the right thing to get into compliance. So if you want to get in there, start at the entry level in your 20-something, start learning the business and gravitate towards the people in compliance so that you can be the rule enforcer.
And I like that. Yeah, it's so easy. It's like I would say, easy to say, hard to do. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, a lot of young people, they're like, "Oh, I can't find the job. It's so hard." I'm like, look. First of all, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Like your first job is not gonna be your dream job,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or your second, third, fourth, whatever. But if you're really passionate, if you have this, you know, something inside, and you know that you want be in that field, start networking, or I would say making friends and helping people,
And learning.
learning.
Go to YouTube. The resources are there today. 20 years ago, you had to learn through books. These days, the internet, every piece of information you need, I would say, if you're like a 19-year-old these days and you're debating between going to college or going into technology, I'd say skip college and go into technology. You can learn everything you need to learn without college in this day
Oh
and
wow.
age. Yeah.
That that is a bold claim. That is a bold claim. What about if I want to go to financial services? Do I need the degree to go to financial services?
It depends. I hired a guy who did not have a bachelor's degree and turned into one of the very best hires of my career. He is successful now at a major financial firm in the city of Chicago. No bachelor's degree, just work ethic, smart. I'll tell you, as a person who has a college degree and went for years, I'm not a big fan. I'm a fan of Mike Rowe in terms of, one of the things he says is we give money left and right to students to pay for these extra unaffordable colleges, and now we want to give them loan forgiveness. Well, what about the tradespeople who took out big loans to buy their manufacturing equipment and they don't get any loan forgiveness? So I just think college was something that was overhyped for decades and decades, but you get more value by just being real with the people, learning what you need to do to solve the problems for them. And it doesn't take me studying geography of Africa to be able to troubleshoot and solve a technology issue on a compliance platform. But I did study geography of Africa. Thanks, college.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lot of those I would say general requirements that you have to fulfill that may not or may help you in the future. I would say yeah. It really depends on industry where you go. It depends on you because for many young people, look, let's be honest. Today, in our world, a lot of young people, what I see, unfortunately, again, maybe I'm being hard on people, etc. But they don't know what they want to do. They're like, oh, life is hard. I can't like find the job. I have to work this job. House market is so expensive. How am I gonna afford the house? But well, look, nobody told you that it's gonna be easy, right? I would say that if you are choosing do not go to college, you're probably making your life even harder. Maybe what's your point? What's your point on that?
It depends. So it comes down to perception as well. Uh, for me, I had the perception I had to have a college degree or I wasn't going to amount to anything in life. And I think a lot of us were like that. If you don't get that college degree, you're going to be a blue collar worker. You want to be a white collar worker. That's no longer the case anymore these days. Technology has accelerated the rate that people learn and given information, made it accessible to people without having to go to an expensive college. You can learn the exact Harvard information online at your home that you can learn by going to Boston full time. And in fact, when my daughter was at Colorado, she went there during COVID, and the first 2 years of her college experience were spent at home.
Oh yeah, the like COVID time and this online education, I think is like the biggest fraud in
Right?
our like from 2020 to 2023, 2022. I think those people, I actually feel sorry for
Yeah.
those people who were studying during that time because I believe when you're doing that online and especially like ChatGPT just came out and people started using that cheating and the institution were not prepared for that amount of cheating, and now we have like a huge population that have a college degree but they have no clue what they're doing and that kind of led to, I would say, education inflation. You know what I mean? So like the it's a lot of people on market, even though our like employment rate is pretty good. But what I hear a lot from young people, they're saying it's hard to find a job. It's we're looking, we're sending 400 applications, and we can't get into the job. But in my personal opinion, the problem is that they're doing that facelessly.
Right.
So, like you're sending a lot of those applications and, millions and millions of people are doing the same thing. Think about how you can differentiate yourself from that mass and like show people your capabilities and again, make friends.
Make friends, pick up the phone and call, email directly to the CEO of the firm that you want to work at. Make yourself known, show up at the conferences. My oldest daughter, she worked for a firm in Chicago. She wanted to work for a firm in San Diego. They had a conference. She wasn't employed by them. She just showed up and attended it, met the people, expressed her interest. She ended up getting hired and is now managing the Hawaiian and Southern California territory, selling plastic surgical equipment to doctors down the coast because she put her face out there. She made friends. She got people to know who she was. So you've got to put yourself out there. You have to make that personal connection. If you're just one of 1,000 resumes, and I've sifted through resumes when I was manager at ITW and we were hiring financial reporting analysts, you just look at one piece of paper to the next. You don't know anything different from one person to the next, but you remember when you had a conversation with somebody, you remember when they said something that stuck out to you, when they made a positive impact on you, and those are the people that get hired. So network, we're humans, and it just can't be stressed enough in this age of AI and fast accelerated technology that the people, we're us, and you got to be personable. Don't just sit behind a computer screen and hope for the best. That's not going to work.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, or fortunately, I would say so.